transcribed, and patience, a willingness to become a human conduit as the words of others enter through her ears, course through her veins, and drip out unseen through fast-moving fingertips. While rewinding Russell's tapes, she glances at today's Metro section. A couple charged with forcing their foster daughter to wait on an elderly relative as he lay dead upstairs. An article detailing the fascinating affliction of hoarding. A New York City task force on hoarding has been formed. One woman quoted has a puppet problem. She buys them from a TV shopping channel. "I feel bad for them when no one else bids," she said. Another day, another edition of the record, another itemized receipt of humanity's victories and losses. On page 3, Lena sees Russell's byline. Above the story is a photo of someone who looks vaguely familiar. A middle-aged woman turned in profile, wild hair, a calm expression, eyes downcast. And the news. The woman broke into the Bronx Zoo 2 days ago, invaded the lion's den, and was killed. She was blind. Zoo officials said the woman's clothes were damp, suggesting she swam the moat. She was found lying about 40 feet from the viewing area in front of one of the dens. The employee entrances in the rear of the exhibit were locked, and no keys were missing, according to zoo officials. The Bronx Zoo is very concerned about the safety of its visitors, a zoo spokesman read from a statement. This incident will be studied very carefully. An animal keeper discovered the body. The lions were apparently behaving strangely and would not go inside their cages to be fed. The animal keeper went into the lions' outdoor enclosure to try to lead them to their feeding cages. There, he found the woman whose arms, scalp, and neck were mutilated. According to the police report, the victim suffered scratches and bite wounds over most of her body. The Associated Press reported that the woman had been partly devoured. Lena studies the small picture, grainy and pale. There is something familiar about the face, but the woman has turned away from the camera and is looking off to the left, as if to protect her identity from readers of the record. She tries to remember where she has seen this woman, a woman who would swim a moat to be eaten by lions. She snaps the first tape into the dictaphone and begins to transcribe, but has difficulty concentrating. She types prostate and Gleason's score and potency, but her mind is elsewhere. When she hears the words seminal vesicles, she lifts her foot off the pedal and pauses. She moves her foot slightly to the right and quickly presses down, then releases. The tape rewinds, and she moves her foot back to the center of the pedal and presses. Seminal vesicles. Yes, that's what he said. It's enough to make one feel sorry for politicians. Even their seminal vesicles are subject to discussion. But then Russell asks if it's true that the senator urged the president to send the military into a Binghamton suburb to arrest terrorism suspects. "It would seem to be a clear violation of posse comitatus," Russell says. "Posse comitatus?" the senator shouts. "I'm sure the president did not violate posse comitatus. What is posse comitatus? Sounds vaguely pornographic, and I'm sure the president had nothing to do with it." She closes her eyes, then opens them and focuses on the telephones across the room. 3 black phones are mounted on a panel and linked to recorders with electrical umbilical cords so that reporters can call in to dictate their stories. The bulk of work these days is the transcription of long interviews that are folded into stories like the one she is typing now, although calls come in sporadically, unpredictably. There is a red light above the telephone that flashes with an incoming call. She imagines this to be like the red button of Samuel Beckett's telephone, although he used his to exclude incoming calls, which, alas, the transcriptionist cannot. And anyway, these phones are not for transmitting literature. They are news lines dedicated to the who, the what, the when, the where, and sometimes, perhaps, the why. To talk on these phones, the transcriptionist must press a button on the receiver and hold it down while she speaks. But once she has taken the initial necessary information, caller, desk, time, location, slug, she rarely presses the button again. This makes for a cleaner transcript because if the button on the receiver is not pressed and the transcriptionist does not speak, there is no background noise on the tape. She is a transcriptionist, but also a gatekeeper for background noise. She continues typing about the politician's prostate, and her mind drifts from Samuel Beckett's telephone to the blind woman to butterflies. This may seem a strange progression to someone who has not been a transcriptionist, but transcriptionists know that typing someone else's words encourages a mysterious progression of thoughts, as in dreams. So, Kutsia, Nabokov, Sadamov.